Welcome to the Jameson Files. I'm Carrie Webber, and I have a guest with me that is no stranger to the Jameson Files. This has got to be our fourth or fifth time that you've sat in on a session with us. This is Nate Porter of the Jameson Group. Nate leads our entire Jameson marketing team and all of our efforts that we do from creative services here at Jameson that supports dental practices across the country in growing their practices, being present in the correct way in their external efforts, and helping to bring in the right new patients for their practice's ultimate success. So Nate, thanks for coming back to be with me.
Yeah, I'm excited to be back on the podcast.
Yeah, but I think it's important that we always have you on as a guest ever so often, because as you and I both know, and any of you that are really plugged into the marketing of your practice know, marketing changes daily.
It does.
And it's really changing at light speed right now. And we decided to do this episode because you and I both agree that there are some things that have come to pass in the evolution of marketing and technology and what's out there and happening that are tremendous, that we all need to be aware of and start folding into our efforts. And then there are some things that are more foundational that we shouldn't be throwing away. That it's really a blend of the new plus the proven that we want to keep pursuing in our marketing efforts. What do you think?
Definitely. I mean, I think, with any practice, your attention is stretched across a lot of different priorities. It's easy to find problem statements in marketing. It's even easy to find opportunity, statements of like, here's a problem, here's the opportunity if we could solve that problem. But consistently implementing the solution piece of it or finding the correct solution can be challenging.
Yeah.
And that's the constant challenge that you have. And it's also easy to be distracted by something new, something shiny, and ignore the fundamentals. And really marketing comes down to consistent fundamentals over time. That's where you get momentum. The new and shiny is cool, and it can be helpful. It can save time. It can help streamline your processes, but it can also be a distraction and pull you away from what you really need to focus on.
What I feel like I observe, if I'm thinking of it as an observer, when it comes to dental marketing and behaviors in terms of dental practices, in terms of how they engage with marketing, it's twofold. There are the practices that still only do the minimal, just thinking, so apparently I have to do this, therefore I have this. And then there are the ones that are trying to jump on every, like you say, bright, new, shiny object. And it becomes very difficult to filter through the noise. There are practices that don't really understand the in and outs of dental marketing. And then there are some that are quite advanced and sometimes overzealous in terms of what they're doing. AI, I think we agree, is something that can be enhancing our marketing efforts, but I think there's a little bit of noise. We both agree there's noise when it comes to that. And so the way I have to think about it is, and let's walk through this, something that you helped me create that I teach now are what we call the marketing pillars of your dental practice. And there are 4 of them. And you helped me organize these, that it's number 1, it's visibility and reach. Number 2, your identity and your image. Number 3, your believability, that kind of online social proof, so to speak, and the experience that you're delivering in the practice, which is a very important marketing entity, whether you believe that or not, it is true. So when you think about those pillars, Nate, walk me through what you think are some of the opportunities that perhaps practices either are ignoring or throwing away or not advancing appropriatly at this point.
Yeah, I mean, each of those pillars is sort of a step in a journey to some extent, but they all work together. And so, the first thing is, thinking about how new patients perceive you. And that touches on really all those pillars.
Yes.
From your presence online, your reviews, your brand, all of those things. And it's really easy to do one or two things that sort of disrupt all of that. Maybe a poorly designed something that goes out and doesn't represent your practice well, where you may be very meticulous about the patient's experience within your practice, even your curb appeal or your reception area, things like that. But your online presence doesn't reflect that. Or you may accept the expertise of a third-party tool that purports to automate some aspect of this for you, and they end up damaging your brand because you trusted them to deliver something of quality, and it ended up being something that wasn't authentic or didn't match your brand or whatever that might be. So it really starts with understanding who you are as a brand. So what's important to you, what's important to your patients when they interact with you, and then making sure that's consistent across all the aspects of what you do.
So that the ongoing voice of your practice is consistent to what you want it to be.
Yeah.
And that's that piece of how are you being found when people find you, when the people are searching and they find you, is that reflecting what you want it to reflect? And then when they find more about your brand or even your facility or your signage or whatever that may be, does that also have that continuity of what you want it to reflect?
Yeah.
And then the piece that the drum I'm always banging is where the coaching and the marketing combine is whatever you're putting out into the world in your external marketing efforts, it must be reflected in the experience they have when they walk into your practice and they engage with you and your team. It has to be that full 360 comprehensive, whatever the vision is of how we want people to feel, what we want to be known for, what we want people to come to us for. That it's reflected not only in your online presence, but it's reflected in that in-office experience at the same time. It's really that comprehensive.
Yeah. I mean, I always think about it as, let's say that you start at zero with trust with your patient. Anything you do either can add to that or can detract from that. So if your value as a practice is that, we provide, high quality service and a friendly, warm environment, and we want to build our relationship based on those values of all of that, and then you end up putting out like a cheaply produced ad that focuses first on cost of the service, you've taken away from who you are as a brand and cheapened what you have to offer. And so anything that you do, you can kind of look at it in the perspective of, are you adding trust to your brand, or are you taking it away?
And I think it's important that it's a non-negotiable now. I mean, marketing your practice is key to your practice's growth and sustainability. Having a website that's reflecting what you want it to reflect, that has unique content, that is able to be curated when people are searching for you. I mean, I've really learned a lot from you in the last several months about the AI piece of that. It is noisy. Everybody's talking about AI, even things that I don't think are even ready to be, that can't even be successful for us. We're just all jumping on this bandwagon. And I do think there's a place for it. Don't get me wrong. But what are the places that it's working well? And I do think there's something in the search piece that AI is starting to have an impact. Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people have this sort of fever dream about AI that you can flip a switch and then it does everything perfectly, right?
Yeah.
And that's just not reality. AI needs human input, needs guardrails, needs all those things. The one area that AI has been successful in disrupting is search. And so, prior to the emergence of AI, it was Google. And then everything else was like less than 2% of search market share. Now with AI is taking over, and they're rapidly growing towards double-digit capture of search traffic. And even Google, of course, has implemented AI summaries in their search results and things like that. So you do have to be aware of, from a data intelligence standpoint of how you're ranking in different fields, whether that's ChatGPT or Gemini or these other tools that are out there. However, some people are sort of pitching this as you need to completely change your whole strategy to cater to this.
Right.
AI summaries are really just a way to get people to the result that they're looking for more quickly, in a more useful fashion, things like that. So if you were doing well at presenting and producing that information and knowledge before, you're going to do well now with AI summaries. So it's not something you need to change your entire strategy around to cater to.
Right, because the things that you've been saying for years is the advice that's being given to be successful with the AI piece of search. It's unique content, unique content, unique content. And if you're not putting the effort into all the different avenues and channels in which you can be, making sure that you're represented correctly, in an up-to-date way, and you're staying up to date, and you're posting regularly, or you're putting unique content in regularly. I mean, those are the things that have helped people in search for years now. Yeah. So just the way that they're accessing the results may be changing, but the things that make you the chosen one that rises to the top in those searches has not really changed as much.
Yeah. The other thing that's funny is AI search is a perfect example of what AI is great for. It's great at synthesizing information. It's great at presenting it in a summary format, and at helping you, think through concepts, ideas, brainstorm, things like that. It's not good at creating unique content. It doesn't create something new based on that, and so.
It's only pulling from what it can feed from.
Yeah. So the thought that you would improve your rank in AI search with AI generated content doesn't stand to reason, and hasn't shown to be successful without significant, work, human input, things like that to really tailor that.
Yes.
So,
and I think that speaks to that there's always going to be room for the creator, like the knowledge creator, the information creator that will help grow AI's effectiveness in the things that it does. And something else that we agree on, of course we agree on all these things, we work together, but is that AI doesn't replace the relationship builder, the experience creator. It helps you in a lot of these pieces of these pillars in terms of becoming more efficient, staying effective, being consistent. But it doesn't eliminate the human side, the relationship side of the business of dentistry. And so those practices that understand where the perks are and optimize those perks while also holding true to those foundational pieces of business success in terms of relationships and experience and creating something unique that helps you stand apart, that's really when you get to some kind of secret sauce. Yeah. So in a timely way, we're recording this in spring of 2026. So for those that either watch or listen to this in those early windows, there are a few opportunities that we have coming down the line that we're going to be launching, services we're going to be launching, resources that are already accessible that you can evaluate your own online performance, and then also an event. That's probably the most timely thing to make sure that for those that want some deep dive training and one-on-one support in terms of planning successful marketing efforts. So do we want to talk through those for a minute?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. We talked about how AI can synthesize information. It can help you brainstorm. It can enable. One of the tools that we're launching is Jameson Hub, which is going to be a really incredible tool to enable, your brand to be more authentic in how it interacts with patients. What AI can help us to do is create incredibly personalized data sets and directives and things like that. So it can take a broad range of data, like all of your online traffic numbers, your call traffic, call recordings, things like that, analyze all of it and boil it down to, here's the 3 things you really need to focus on to improve exponentially. So rather than you kind of sitting back and muddling through everything and trying to improve everything, not knowing where to focus, this platform helps you to dive in.
Yes.
And then the other aspect of it is really that skills enablement, skills development side of it, where, all right, we seem to be having issues, converting callers from, they're new patients, they have this specific problem set, and we aren't moving the ball forward with them. Let's practice those skills. Let's develop a personalized script, if you will, of, here's bullet points of what you should cover on every call in those scenarios, and then you can practice it. You can practice it with an AI patient. So you get practice saying the words, you get practice getting feedback on the words before you ever talk to a real patient in that scenario. So, AI can help us to personalize our interactions with patients. It can help us to segment our patient base in a way that's incredibly targeted to them, and then helps our interactions, our human interactions, to be that much more meaningful with the patients, as opposed to trying to have AI take over those interactions.
So the Jameson Hub really, it helps in so many ways, really multifold in terms of, a lot of practices are always curious about, how am I doing? Am I doing all the things I need to do? How am I kind of rating and in terms of all the things that need to be managed in terms of marketing? And so the analyzing piece, the dashboard type of function of here's how we're doing, here's what you've accomplished, here's where you can improve. But it also helps with the online presence and search, and then gives skills training and recommendations in terms of even all the way down into the experience pillar in terms of telephone and verbal skills, and even our performance in terms of the telephone, which is such a key entity. My mother has always said that patients are going to decide whether or not they schedule and keep appointments by how they're handled on the telephone. And there's also this massive blind spot in terms of the phone, in terms of how many calls we're missing and how those calls are really going. And what we're doing with tools that are really set up to help us be more successful and improve our results. And so if any of you are curious about the Jameson Hub, reach out to us so that we can show you more information on that. But know that when we look at all the pieces that make up what we would call those 4 pillars of marketing, the Jameson Hub actually serves to support multiple elements of each pillar. So if you want a way to simplify your efforts, this could be a tool that I would encourage you and invite you to learn more about. Now, let's talk about our course coming up in July. Yes. The Dental Marketing Operating Systems Workshop we're having July 9th and 10th in Grapevine, Texas. This is for doctors, marketing coordinators, office managers, can be total team. If you've got your hands in your marketing efforts, come as a team and learn, plan, strategize, improve together with both of us and other members of the Jameson team at the AOS Training Center in Grapevine. So anything that you want to share about that in particular?
We did this event last year as kind of our inaugural version of this, and we got such great feedback from people specifically saying, just the fact that we could be in a focused environment, work on our specific scenarios, get hands-on, practice with taking photos and building like a actionable social media plan or actionable marketing plan, understanding how we delegate these things to the team, in a small group setting was just so powerful. And people took away from that, so many practical things that they could go back and start right away improving their marketing with those tools.
Yeah, I mean, it was so powerful. So if you thrive in that workshop type environment, if not only learning from people like us, but also from colleagues and peers, and really getting some insights of best practices and things that are working for other practices, as well as getting a plan for you, something you can actually go and execute and apply that day and get to work on. This is for you. Each and every one of us play a part in a small business. And our small businesses are our dental practices. And those practices are going to have an opportunity to thrive at a higher level when we all embrace this element of our role in the business of being more intentional and effective and efficient in executing these marketing pillars. And so I'm excited to go back. I'm excited to do it again. And it's going to be even better than last year, because we'll have learned the things that really took off from last year, and we're going to sharpen those saws and bring something really exceptional in that day and a half we're going to have together. So you can find out more at thedmos.com if you want to learn more about the course, or you can certainly find posts and information on our social media and our website. But it's coming up in July, so I really encourage you all, come have a little summer school with us, and let's plan some really, really awesome marketing efforts for you for the second half of 2026 and into the years to come. Now, one more thing that is really a little bit more evergreen is, if any of this has sparked any curiosity for you of like, what are you talking about? I don't even know how I'm performing online. I don't even know if, how I'm showing up in search, or if my website's even effective for me. You can have your marketing, your online performance assessed and evaluated through a complimentary tool that we've provided. Do you want to give a little insight on that?
Yeah, the digital marketing audit is the most comprehensive online presence audit that I know of. We evaluated a lot of different tools and put this together, and it ties into a lot of different evaluation tools and platforms, but it measures everything from your local visibility on Google Maps and things like that, your reviews, your website, your online traffic. It's going to give you a heat map of how you're ranking, not only at your practice, which is what a lot of marketing companies measure, but in the region around your practice. It'll show how you compare to others in your area, other dental practices, and what you could even do to improve those things. So it's really easy to do. It's free, obviously, and you just put your website in there. It goes through and does all of the analysis and evaluation, finds your local competitors, and it provides you an easy to read result with a little score at the top, and then gives you the categories below. So you
guys know you're curious. You've done a lot less, or maybe even a lot more, to find out what type of animal you are, or color on the color wheel, or whatever. So listen, let's do a little homework and do a little due diligence on our business's online performance. And all you got to do is put in your website, and you get this really great report. So I invite you to do it. It's really simple. It's free. And so it's a really great first step for you to get a little bit more involved in what you're doing now versus what you need to do to get a better result, to really accomplish your marketing and practice performance vision for the future. So a lot packed into this Jameson Files, talking about those marketing pillars, your visibility and reach, your identity and image, your believability, and your patient experience that your patients, your customers are having. Those are the marketing pillars, and all of the entities that go into that. How does AI play a role? What do we need to hold firm on in terms of the human element of relationship and experience to help us be successful in our efforts? So learn more about our dental marketing operating system workshop at thedmos.com. Learn more about Jameson Hub through the Jameson website. And also go do your own practice assessment through the marketing audit that Nate just shared. We're going to be sharing some of those links in the comments of these posts through the video channels that we post in. You can always reach out to us at jmsn.com. Send us an email, and whatever you're looking for, we will get in touch with you and get you connected with a Jameson team member to help you.
Can I just say something on that front? You know, this is a lot of information. It can be overwhelming. And sometimes you might be like, you know, I get it, but I don't know how that applies to my specific situation. And we always would love to have a conversation with you. We'll provide you with, you know, resources and tools and analysis on your specific question, concern, situation. You know, we love to talk about marketing, so that's what we do. Yeah.
Marketing, coaching, leadership, operations. We want to help you. We want you to be as successful as you can possibly be in the pursuit of your ideal practice vision. So reach out. Don't be afraid. Let curiosity lead you to see what's out there. How am I doing right now? Where am I now? And have a conversation with someone that can be a great guide and advisor to you on where you want to go and point you in the direction of tools, support, and resources that could help you get there. So, Nate, thanks for being with me again.
Yeah, thank you.
It was really great to be with you. And I hope I see all of you this summer at our workshop in Grapevine, or at the least, I hope I see you online doing great things for your practice for the rest of this year and in the years to come. Thanks for being with me again. Be well, and we'll see you next time.